The Coins of Christ, a lost ancient form of portable art, rediscovered, part number 3, by Dr. Ronald Stewart, Ph.D., Ph.D. Copyright 2006 to 2017, all rights reserved. In this next image, this is the back of the coin, and in this area that we see the yellow outline around, number 1 demarks, presents and demonstrates Pontius Pilate, and 2, next to him to his right, would be Christ, and 3 is a Roman legion guard. As we see this enhanced and enlarged in the next image, as we see to the right in number 1, Pontius Pilate, number 2 with his head down is Christ, and the Roman guard is seen in number 3 facing as we look toward him in his face. But here you see Christ, his beard right there where the pointer's pointing to, crown of thorns. And here we also see the Roman guard with his helmet, his flume on the top, and then as the pointer comes down again. On the top, A through B, is another coin of both Herod and Pontius Pilate, but when you remove the background to the right, we see what's on the right top of the image, which shows Pontius Pilate, and it looks very, very similar to the number 2 image of Pontius Pilate on the bottom of the coin in which is now being investigated and studied. As well, number 3 is Christ with his head bowed as he is praying. In this image, 1 is Pontius Pilate, 2 is Christ, 3, where the yellow arrow points to, shows what his face looks like up close. The orange arrow points to his face as he is bowing his head, evidently in prayer and looking toward the crowd. You see his nose, and also here the orange arrow points toward his face again. Number 4 is one of the people in the crowd looking on as Pontius Pilate is trying to free Christ. His nose, mouth, beard, neck, right shoulder. Number 5 also represents the different people in the crowd as they look on where Pontius Pilate is trying to free Christ. 6 is Roman guard looking toward Christ and Pontius Pilate. 8 is his helmet. 7 was his flume. 9 is also his armor that the helmet sets on, and we can see the straps that have it hooked on to his body. Here is a closer image of Christ as we zoom in toward his face. And we can see the right eye looks bloodied. The left eye looks bruised and battered. And the bottom lip. And also here we see the robber next to Christ 2, who's talking to Christ 1, asking him to remember him when he gets into his kingdom. Next we see a Christ entombed in number 1 as we see the outline of the slab, the rock slab that he is laying upon, where the pointer's pointing to. We now see the outline of the body as seen in 2, separated from the rock slab, to show that this body is lying in a lying position. As the arrow points, we can see it's pointing toward the feet as a person was lying down, and now the length of the body, and there's the arms crossed together, and we can see the same thing here as the body is shown in 2 that would be lying upon a rock slab, just as Scripture states, and in the story of Christ, in these portable forms of art. Here, in this next 2 images, is a close-up of Christ in his shroud. And if we compare the eye on the left that is badly bruised at this time, and the nose, and also the other eye that is red, and the what appears to be a swelled lip. And if we compare that with the image on the left of Christ being tuned in his shroud, similar to like a baby in a blanket, the eye here can be seen and is not as damaged, as bad, evidently, as the eye on the left, which is bruised, which is similar also to the bruised eye on the left, as we can see with the shroud of Christ, and looking at his face as it's broken and battered and bruised. The length of his nose appears possibly broken, and we can see the lips swelled up on the image to the right, and also in his tomb. Now for a closer look at the possible face of Christ in his tomb, and he is around the shroud around his head, much like a baby would be in a blanket. We can see possibly the broken nose here, and we can see possibly the nose crushed in on the bottom here, and the left eye appears to be badly bruised and also very blackened. Also, we see the swelled lips on the bottom, and we see the other bruises and the open eye here of possibly Christ in his tomb as well.